Local resident is being charged with the crime of doxing in relation to the Gilbert goons. On January 1st, a homeowner called into Gilbert PD to report that someone had come to their house and harassed their 17-year-old son. It says that an older male, approximately 60 years of age, was in a vehicle and yelled at a 17-year-old and his girlfriend about them for being murderers. And the teens replied, telling the man that they were not the person that he thought they were. He told them they shouldn't buy homes from murderers and drove away. The homeowner wanted that documented. Her address had been posted on a Facebook group alleging that the renters lived in this house, but the renters didn't live in the house. This was the home of the subsequent homeowner who had purchased the house from Travis Renner, a house that is worth $2.6 million when it was sold. The police report is 8 different reports. There's an initial police report and then there's 7 follow-ups. The actual Facebook post on the Facebook group said, "Renner's deaf living the life, dad's place, 2.6 million. And then there was a photo of the home and an address. Someone responded, commented, "No, the dad sold the home last year." And the post was then taken down. The chief became emotional talking about what this 17-year-old at the Latham house had to endure by having someone show up and accuse him of being a murderer. In the police report from Gilbert, it talks about how shaken his family was, how they got extra security, how they made arrangements for the wrestling coach at ALA to meet him and walk him into practice. This was undoubtedly jarring for this family. But if you recall what was happening in early January, everybody was feeling this way to a certain extent. I was looking into more security cameras. I was running into people who told me that they were uncomfortable going to the store at the time. We were watching dozens of videos of local teens beating the shit out of other people. Terribly, just terribly. So the level of anxiety was very, very high. No arrests had been made at that point, none. In that same press conference by Chief Mike Solberg, he answered the question, why is it taking so long on Rick Keener's son's investigation, the one from August of 2023? And he was specifically asked about the cameras at Gilbert garage. And he said that the cameras were working and they were ordering the footage. It was January. They were ordering the footage. This is just a sad day. It doesn't bring me any joy to bring this to you. But there's a man who's being charged criminally. It's a misdemeanor, so he doesn't get a public defender. He has no lawyer. And all he was doing was trying to help the community. And unfortunately, that led to a 17-year-old being very, very uncomfortable and the homeowner being uncomfortable. I get that. But Gilbert PD did 7 follow-ups for that case and had not asked for the video from the parking garage for the August case where the boy was beaten with brass knuckles. Is this intentional? I don't think so. I don't. But when a homeowner of a $2 million home calls and reports something, the police chief feels personally moved. I don't understand why, but he said that he cried while he talked about how he pictured his own son going through that, but never cried picturing Rick Keener's son or the many other victims who'd been terrorized. We're talking death threats, multiple. Gilbert police, this case, this doxing case, it's wrong. It's wrong because you have discretion on where to allocate your resources. And allocating your resources, 7 follow-ups for this relatively minor incident. Now, I should say it also says in the police report that the mom wrote in and said that her 17-year-old was followed in a truck days later. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. We don't know. All of us were dealing with so much anxiety during that time. There were times when I saw somebody who made uncomfortably long eye contact with me, and then they lifted up their shirt and there was a gun in the back of their thing. And like all of us were dealing with, are we a threat? Is it safe for me to live here? So maybe that boy was followed or maybe he wasn't. But that threat is not, it's gone. It's gone. The man who's being charged with doxing, he has an arraignment coming up at the end of the month. He doesn't get a public defender. He needs a lawyer. My hope is that there is a criminal attorney in the community who will help to defend him, because he's not a criminal. He was an active citizen trying to do what was right, and made a mistake, and it was literally a mistake. He doesn't deserve to have a criminal record. So my hope is that there's a criminal attorney out there who would be willing to take on his case pro bono. If you would be willing to do that, I would be happy to highlight you in my stuff. We could talk about this, definitely get you some exposure.